Okay. Yes. Hopefully that it is working. Give me 1 second. Let me put the camera down. Okay, hello everyone. So hopefully, so I'm so sorry for the trouble. Hopefully that you can hear me well. Um, I'm glad to see everyone here. So the reason I decided to do this live today is because several of you have reached out to me and asking to see what I have been doing and to see whether I'm doing okay. And Edward, hi everyone. Hi Van Life Biker, Bazi, Krishna, CS, Tammy, Timothy. It's good to see everyone here. Because Edward has reached out to me and has commented that it's time to put out another video, that he needed some of my wisdom and to see whether I'm okay. Well, Edward is not the first person who reached out to me, so after several messages, I decided it's probably it's time for me to explain to you what's going on with me, give you some update, and perhaps because you have probably seen that my videos has been pretty sporadic and I haven't posted video regularly. I'm doing well, thank you, Van Life Biker. So sorry, I just need to adjust my if I leave YouTube, you're gonna sue me for loneliness and pain. No, no. Let me explain. Let me explain. But first, let me know whether you hear me well at all, and if the video, if the camera is okay, because it doesn't seem to be. It's for some reason it doesn't seem to be working well for me. Okay, it sounds good. So I think that I have the camera on at the wrong angle. So let me adjust it in a little bit. Sorry for the shaking. Let me adjust it for a little bit. Sorry about that, because I can't hold the camera because it's on the wrong angle. Come on. Okay, so now is this better? And I can hold the and I don't have to hold the camera the whole time. Now is this a lot better? Okay, thank you for being patient with me on that. Okay, so the reason why I put the title that I don't want to be a YouTuber, so this is a reason for that, and it has been a while since I posted the video, and because I wanted to have that pause, of that reflection, because lately I didn't feel creative. I didn't feel the motivation to post the videos, and I needed to understand why. Um, so it reminds me a quote that my coach has taught me. He used to say that fear is an idleness of will. So if fear is an idleness of will, and I am currently feeling stagnated in my creativity, in my motivation through the work that I'm doing, that means that I'm experiencing some kind of fear, and I needed to understand what is it that I'm feeling, what is it that I'm fearing. Everybody is crypto, yeah, because it's in lockdown in Montreal as well. So I'm just gonna go and explain myself, and then I will look at the chat. If you have any questions, then I will explain, then I will answer the questions after. And so it's really like, for the past month, it's really got me to think, like, what is it that I'm feeling, like what is it that I sense the fear around me right now, like why I don't have the motivations or the creativities that I used to have. Like, I know besides on the weather, besides on the lockdown, but even so, like back in March, like I felt like, even when I was in the lockdown, I felt a lot of motivations, like to break out of the barriers and to do something. It wasn't the lockdown that actually locked me in of my creativity. I know that there's something that in my brain, and I started to pretty much just deal with my feelings, to feel basically all the sensation and everything that I have been sensing and feeling these days. In the past month of December, like, I felt incredible pain in my back, like my neck and my shoulder pain. And it just so happened that I'm also working on another project. Well, I cannot really exactly tell you what project I'm working on at the moment, because it's still in the process. Is this done, I will announce to you what project I'm working on. But this project helps me to reflect back into my life and all the achievements and everything that I have been able to accomplish. And it brought me back to the time when I was in the US about a couple of years ago in 2015, when everything just crumbled down. And that was the time I experienced the exact same pain in my neck and my shoulder. And that was the time that I had a lot of conflict in my career. I don't think it has anything to do with vitamin D, but but I've also learned that whenever I experience neck or shoulder pain, it's because of the burden that I feel emotionally, especially something around responsibility, something around career. So that got me to questions like, what is it that I'm doing now that make me feel like such a big burden? And because back then, I felt that I was on the wrong track of being an engineer, and I lost my job, and I didn't feel like that was something that I wanted to do. I didn't feel like that was the right path for me. yet emotional burden transferred to my shoulders. So it was something that I couldn't feel. I couldn't experience emotionally. I couldn't understand it. That's why it had to manifest through the physical pain. So it's like your body, like your emotion, very much connected to your body. And so what you feel on your body is perhaps like an emotion that's pretty much blocked up a long time ago, and now it just basically manifested again in my body. It's my back pain. I have a long history of back pain, and it comes and goes. And so whenever I experience this again, I know that it is something that I know that is an emotion that I haven't felt for a long time, and it is the exact same pain that I had back then. Maybe the intensity is a little bit less. Several years ago, when I had to deal with my job, it was the pain was so great that I could not even wake up. Like I would just like lay on bed for many days. I couldn't even go to work, and that was how I knew that I was on the wrong path. I knew that it wasn't meant for me to do, and that was the time that I had to like dig deep down, and that was the time that made me to question, okay, what is it, like what is my life purpose? Basically that was the transformation stage for me. And because I had to let go of that burden, let go of that, because the pain has to be brought up like in my awareness so that I can release it, so that I can question myself and release it. And back then the answer was that it wasn't the right path for me. So why did I have to keep doing it? Why did I have to carry this burden, knowing that, like, because it pushing me not to be myself. And as I have the meeting with my team last week, and so I explained to them, like, I don't have the motivation to do this. Like, I feel like there is something wrong. So they suggested that perhaps this is the fear of growing, because I'm afraid of losing my freedom, that I'm afraid of carrying the responsibilities for whatever that I'm facing right now. So I thought a lot about what they say, whether it is actually the fear of growth, because it's like it's hard for me to, because as you know, freedom is my highest value, and it's hard for me to basically having something that restricts my freedom. And as I was writing down my goals for this year, I was basically focusing on the number of the surprise births that I want to grow, the amount of money that I want to make. As I wrote down these goals, I started to realize that my heart isn't really in there. My heart isn't really, it doesn't provoke emotion that motivate me to achieve these goals. Like, but I didn't realize this in the beginning until I started to experience the pain, until I started to basically sit with my emotion and asking, like, why I have been so stagnated. That was when it got me to realize that my heart isn't really into the goals that I have been focusing. And so I also realized that the goals that I wrote down, is basically tied to the identity of being a YouTuber. And that's how I realized, okay, so maybe I don't want to be a YouTuber because my heart isn't in there. So another story that I want to share is whenever like my mom asked me like what I'm doing, and I told her I'm posting videos on YouTube and sharing whatever that I'm doing on YouTube. And and she said, so you're a YouTuber. So for some reason, whenever people ask me like what do you do for work, for some reason I cannot bring myself saying that I am a YouTuber even though I posted YouTube on videos. I can't see myself in this world. Basically, I can't see myself boxed into this identity being a YouTuber because it's associated with because I see like people who post videos on YouTube. I see the strategies and I see the things that they post doesn't feel like it resonates with me. It doesn't feel like it relates to me. And it seems like there's a structure to it and there's a system to it that it doesn't resonate with me, and I feel like I cannot really embody it. I cannot really see myself doing what they do. And so I don't feel like this is the path for me. This is the identity that I want to grow myself into, because that was what I thought I had to be. The reason I started my channel is because I wanted to share my journey of growth. So that's the premise that I founded on this channel. That was the idea that brought to me in the beginning. But ACE's goal is like 2,000 people, 2,500 people come to my channel. Then I started to feel the pressure. I started to feel the responsibilities that is it being asked of me now to be a YouTuber. It wasn't something that I felt, it wasn't a pressure or the responsibility that I felt in the beginning. And so as I look into this identity, it's not anything of your fault to expect me to be a YouTuber. It wasn't something that I know or I was aware of either. So as I look back into the beginning of my journey when I started this channel, the reason I had the motivation to start it was because I had something to share, that I had that I was motivated to help people to share the knowledge that I already have. At that time, I didn't look at myself as a YouTuber because I didn't have a lot of subscribers. Nobody really knows me, so I didn't have the pressure to share anything, right? So it was very easy for me, but yet I did have the desire to grow. So when I talked to my team and they suggested that why don't you just look at YouTube as a channel for sharing your knowledge instead of looking at it as the main thing that you have to do. So what I draw out of this lesson through the challenge that I'm experiencing these days is that perhaps it's not meant for me to be a YouTuber, because that is not the identity that I feel like I can identify myself with. But at the same time, I know that I am on the right path. The reason I know I am on the right path is because of all of your comments, like that you, all of the affirmation and comments that you have given me along the way. Like, so many of you said that the messages that I'm sharing is really helpful and it helped you to find who you are, and that it has helped you to reflect on your challenges and go along with your life journey as well. And every time that I doubt myself, I receive a message like that. So I know that I am on the right path. So what is it that I'm not seeing through this YouTube channel, through this challenge? Like, what perspective that I needed to see in order to overcome my stagnation and my fear of growth, to find that creativity and to find that motivation again to do what I need to do. I know that I am on the right path. So what is it that wrong with me? So as I sit with it, as I start asking different questions, I started to realize that because the identity of being a YouTuber, it connects me to the materialism, which is similar to the path that I was on back then several years ago, because I focused so much on the American dream, on the freedom of materialism. That means focus more on about making money and creating status. And so when I look at myself as a YouTuber, I focus on creating more followers, more subscribers, and more status. So it's very much similar to what I experienced back then, and that wasn't the right focus for me, and that's the reason why I feel like I'm being boxed in and I trap myself in a situation of responsibilities that is not meant for me to experience. And then I started to ask, so if I am on the right path right now, if YouTube is the right channel for me to share the messages, to help people, then what identity that I need to embody, that I need to take on in order for me to continue create, and continue to serve, continue to help people. So 2 days ago, I had a dream, and it was a very interesting dream where I was running into the closet, like I was hiding. I was hiding in the closet because so many people was trying to fight me. And before I go to sleep, I did ask my subconscious, pretty much this is how I normally do whenever I need answers, questions for my life. Then I would just ask in my dream that what is it that I need to see, or what is it I need to understand to solve the problem of my life right now. And so I saw myself running into the closet hiding. It wasn't really life-threatening. It wasn't really scared. I wasn't really scared, but it meant that I was hiding for responsibilities for something that I'm meant to be doing. And it was because I couldn't see myself clearly, the identity that I'm supposed to emerge, I'm supposed to grow into. And so in the next image, I saw Bruce Willis. You probably know Bruce Willis. He's a famous actor. So he called me And then he started to interrogating me. And as I remember the image of him in my dream, it was like he was someone who was really is very disciplined, very firm about what he says, but at the same time, he was very, yeah, Bruce Willis is really funny. He was also very charming and very easygoing. And he is a famous person, right? He's a very well-known actor. And so when I woke up, like I realized, what is it like this dream actually telling me? It clearly has a meaning, because I was asking for an answer, and the way that I interpreted my dream is that because he is a famous person, and he is like, his character is something that I feel like I need to embody. I need to immerse myself into, as someone who more disciplined, someone who is more um, someone who is more integral, fun, but at the same time charming and easygoing. And that's the characters that I needed to walk into. And I'm asking, is this the identity that I need to embody in order to be more creative in my work? And then the message I'm receiving is that the identity that I need to emerge into is being a messenger. So that helped me to get the whole picture of, is I sit with it, I sit with the challenge, I try to like get quiet and understand my emotion and my feelings, and questions like everything that I'm going through right now. It get me to understand more about my path and what I want to build out of my business, what is the foundation that I want to build upon. And without this challenge, without this pain that I'm having, and without being quiet and being reflective and sit still, I won't be able to acknowledge the challenge and what I'm facing, and that I may have put myself on the wrong path being a YouTuber, because that wasn't something that I wanted to do. So as a moment, what I'm feeling, what I should embody, and what the identity that I should emerge into, instead of seeing myself as a YouTuber, I see myself more like a messenger, someone who sharing the knowledge that I'm going through, the knowledge based on the journey that I'm going through, based on the knowledge that I learned, and that's what I'm sharing back to the community, instead of, because I named my channel Personal Growth with Van Life for a reason. Like, Van Life is only the vehicle for the personal growth. The personal growth is like ever evolving and ever changing. And like, even though I don't live in the van temporarily right now, I still experience a lot of challenge that push me to grow, and this is a challenge that I'm facing right now. So I don't feel like, instead back then I feel like I had to beat myself up for not being creative, or like not being productive. Like, I feel like I needed to sit back and understand what I'm feeling and what I'm experiencing, and stop beating myself up for it. And because I'm so used to being critical with myself. And so by doing that, by asking different questions and very much embracing the challenge, I started to slowly understand the journey that I'm going through, the challenge that I'm going through, because it's so critical for me. It's the beginning of the foundation of my business.
I needed to know which path I'm going forward, which path is the right path for me. And so this challenge turns out is a blessing for me, because if I could have gone through the path of being a YouTuber, I would focus more on the content that on creating content instead of like sharing the messages that's more related to my personal growth. And so and so it helps me to start getting a better foundation for what I want to do. Um, that I should see myself as a messenger instead of see myself as a YouTuber. It doesn't mean that and that's what I'm asking of the community, is seeing me as someone who's sharing knowledge to help you through any challenges, anything that you are dealing with at the moment, instead of seeing me as a YouTuber. Because if you see me as a YouTuber from other channels that you are seeing, you may have a different expectations on me, and if you do, then what I'm sharing may not be is what you're expecting, and it may disappoint me. So, and it's for my side, my responsibilities is sharing my knowledge, is sharing my journey. And as I focus on this, I will no longer focus on the number of the growing number of my subscribers, but rather focus on what is the messages that people would need at the moment and what I have to bring out. And I think focusing on that would liberate me from being feeling the pressure that I have to please other people, that I have to please the community, for having the wrong expectation in me. It doesn't mean that I will stop sharing videos. It doesn't mean that I will stop this channel. It just means that I'm seeing myself differently, and that I will stop. I will stop saying that I am a YouTuber. Instead, I would just think of myself as a messenger, because this is something that I feel like I resonate more, and that there's the characters that I want to embody is being in the Bruce Willis. Um, is being Bruce Willis, who is something like more integral, more disciplined, and um, more charming for a reason. So it's seeing myself as a YouTuber. I stopped seeing myself as a YouTuber. I I don't have to worry so much about the structure that other YouTubers are doing. Instead, just focus being free, being myself, and being free for whatever form that I'm going to emerge into. And so I want to be free to grow in a way that is more aligned with my path, instead of looking at other people, how they grow, and having that influence on me, being like a certain way being a YouTuber, because I see that that's what it is for YouTuber, to constantly creating content and then compete with each other, um, and having a certain strategy. I don't mean that it doesn't work, but honestly, like my Mosby videos, I didn't have any strategy in place. So when I started to see it that way, I was like, there's so much strategies that I have to learn, and like all these contents that I'm not sure that I want to do. And so that's why it put the burden on me, and I couldn't see myself continue being on YouTube, continue to be that kind of identity. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not me. So I want to grow in the way that I'm free to grow into, and whatever that meant for me to be more aligned. And so that's the message that I want to share in this video. I don't know whether you have any challenges, whether you go through the same thing, but hopefully the challenge that I'm going through right now, that you can learn something from it, because as I'm being more honest with myself and honor the path I'm going, and as I'm putting it out there, that's my way of being honest with my viewers and respecting you for being honest with myself as well. Okay, so let me look at back the chat, because I cannot really see the chat, but let me see the chat to see if there's any questions. So there's a lot of people on here. Why don't you redo the videos when the weather gets better and you can travel again? Well, that's the plan. I'm going to do more videos, more traveling videos. I don't know what kind of video it is going to be, so we would just have to see. As I'm working on a few different things at the moment, and so Van Life Biker say the only thing to fear is fear itself. Yes, the weather in Montreal during winter sucks. It has been snowing a lot, so I don't know if you can see. There's a lot of snow at the moment, so it has been really, really cold lately for sure. So I just want to stay in. And because Montreal is currently in lockdown right now, everything is closed and you're not allowed to go outside after 8 p.m. So there's nothing much to do instead of being at home and being reflective. So it's actually a good time for me to share challenges and life insight at the moment. Are you supplementing? So Van Life Biker said, are you supplementing with vitamin D? You're not getting much sun and it affects us big. I do take supplement every day. I just take a bunch of different types of supplement, and I think vitamin D is in it for sure. Yes, you do need supplements. And it's very important, because if I don't take supplement, I can start feeling it in my fingernails and in my skin if I don't take supplement. So it's extra essential to take supplements for sure in the winter time. So that is critical. Emotional burden transfer to your shoulder. Yes, as I explained, emotional is any emotion that you don't feel, it can pretty much accumulate. So it's basically emotion is energy in motion. So anything that is cannot release, it will just start like harden up. It just start crystallize in your body, and it can manifest out as an illness. And that's something that I have been experiencing through my back pain. And I knew that I wasn't doing anything physical. Like I haven't done any sport. I haven't done a lot of physical exercise. So I knew it has to come from a stagnated emotion burden. So and that's the reason why I had to dig deep down what emotion, what I'm feeling. So that is a great question. And see, let's any other questions here. So one tiger said, I have back pain too, and I think back exercise helps. I think that yoga will help a lot with with back pain as well, because this helped to decrystallize the energy. So that's what I've been doing for a while to help with the back pain. And FRC, a lot of people will cry during myofascial release. MFR. I haven't done myofascial, but I have heard a lot about it. So I was actually thinking about checking it out or doing massage to help with my back pain as well. So one tiger said life has no purpose for most people. If you're always looking for purpose in life, I think you would go around in a circle. That was the question that I was asking many years ago, one tiger, that what is my life purpose? And this is the reason why I started Van Life. That's the premise of my Van Life, is I wanted to know more about my life purpose, basically, because I think that it linked to my career. What is it that I'm meant to do in this lifetime? And so I decided to live in a van because it helped me to cut down the living costs. By cutting down the living costs, I could work part-time, and as I don't spend as much time working and earning money, I thought I could use that time to learn more about myself. As I learn more about myself, I know what career path is more suitable for me. And it took me 3 years to get here to finally understand what my life purpose is. So as you question it, it means that there's a purpose for me. And if you don't feel like happy where you are right now, and there's something more that you want out of life, then probably it is a sign that you are looking for a different purpose in life. So is only a circle go round if you stop going around the circle. So it's a choice to stop going around, to just like keep chasing your tail, going around a circle. Life is a circle itself, but there are many circles for you to run into, and in order to stop running from circle to circle is you would have to stop it yourself so that you can run into a different circles. So that's how we grow, and that's how we evolve. Like by going through different circles, you understand the circle of life pretty much. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see what other questions. But that was a really great insight, One Tiger. Purpose of life is to clean sanskaras. It could be, I'm not sure what sanskaras mean. There are three kinds of freedom. One tiger said there are three kinds of freedom: financial freedom, physical freedom, and freedom of the mind. And Krishna say sanskara is the deepest habits, personal nature. There are three kinds of freedom: financial freedom, physical freedom, and freedom of the mind. That is such a great comment, One Tiger. I really love that comment. Financial freedom, physical freedom, freedom of the mind, which I think that is the hardest for a lot of us to achieve, the freedom of the mind, because there's we are born with certain beliefs, right? We are being indoctrinated with certain beliefs, and it traps us to be in this, to running around in the circle. So if you want to stop running around in the circle, you have to identify what belief is it in your subconscious that that push you to run in this hamster wheel. So, but at the same time, like how many people are actually able to see the beliefs that they embody, because we are just so used to the habit. It's basically, it's create a natural habit. That's why it's in the subconscious. So because it's in subconscious, you are not aware of it, and if you are not aware of it, how are you able to stop that circle? So basically, freedom of the mind is the ultimate freedom for sure. and that is the great insight. And I think that is what the society is dealing with, and that's what I'm dealing with as well. It's the ultimate liberation, pretty much. Okay, that is such a great comment. I really, really love that. And I feel like seeing comments like this, I feel like my viewers is actually getting me understand what I'm talking about. I love that comment. And Krishna said sanskara means deepest habits and personal nature. Perhaps this is a Sanskrit word. I don't know this word, so thanks for pouring that out. And Raj says it's okay. You don't need to put yourself first. You don't have to give clarification. We enjoy your presence, your honesty here. Do whatever you like doing. Thank you so much, Raj. I really, really appreciate all these comments and all the viewers, and I know that you guys are here for the reason is I'm sharing my messages. And when you get it, it means that you are connected to me. That's the reason why you get what I'm saying. Because when people don't get the message that I'm saying, they will start to leave, and that would be okay as well. But I feel very fortunate that so many people in my channel that actually getting my message. And for having said that, I received the first message that I ever received when I most started my channel is from Dario. And I would remember this message forever. This was when I first doubted myself. I was asking whether this is the right niche for my channel, whether I'm not meant to do this, and whenever I doubted myself, something happened. Someone would comment and say something to get me going and continue to do the work that I'm doing. And I was actually meditating, I was doing Reiki, and I was asking for guidance, for insight. And I kid you not, an hour later, this is a message that I get, and it answers everything that I asked in my questions just when I do my meditation. And this is the message from Dario Mute Jack. And this is before people know me. I think I had only 80 subscribers back then, and this is what he said. Many people don't get the personal aspect of van life. And I'm just reading the message from Dario here, which is my opinion is number one thing van life offers. All the other channels talk about travel, random places, and other usual van life things. And no one is talking about van life as a tool to self-discovery, creating opportunities and business ideas and long-term goals and growth. That's why I like your approach and would like to see more of it. I am building out a van myself that I'm going to use as a freedom and opportunity to create a better life long term. You seem like you take life by the balls with little fear. It takes massive courage to do that. I can appreciate that. So as I was asking myself, as I was doubting myself, Dario gave me a affirmation telling me that I was on the right track. And whenever I receive messages like this, I'm always stunned that it's always appear at the time that I need it more. So it's not like when I'm sharing messages to you, it's not like only just me helping you, but you also helping me by giving comments like this as well. And I just have to keep reminding myself that the reason why I started this in the beginning and that I shouldn't be on the wrong path, be on the wrong track, because if I embody myself in in an identity that I'm not meant to is also a disrespectful to my viewers as well, because it wasn't the premise that I built out in the beginning, and this is what Dario has been the reason that he comes to my channel for. And I feel so blessed, and I feel so grateful for the messages like this, because it's really kept me going. So, and hearing Raj say that again is really encouraging for me. So thank you, Raj. Let me, okay, let's go back to on the messaging here. So Maggie Holland said, sending you light and love in your journey to knowing yourself and what is best for you. Honor that knowingness and embrace that knowing yourself is freedom. Thank you very much, Maggie. Krishna said, well, we must come to move in with you. I think it would be great to have 20 pips in a van. It's really fun. I would love to socialize with my viewers and people who actually get and understand my messages. It would be great to have them meet up. So yes, 20 pips in a van. It sounds like a great party. The dawn of van life. I still can't say I'm a YouTuber. So the dawn of the van life. What do you, if you can see yourself as a YouTuber, like what is it, what identity that you would like to embody, and why you continue to do this YouTube, like what message you are sharing. So I hope that if you comment that, I hope that this video is helpful for you, this life is helpful for you, because perhaps you are facing the challenge that I'm facing as well. And if you have any other questions, don't be shy to ask it in the comment as well. And Krishna said, I enjoy YouTube at my whim. I never want to have YouTube as my income. I don't know about that yet, but I would just let it be as what it be, and I would just embody myself as a messenger, whether YouTube should be the main source of income. As far as I know, I have different ideas and projects that I would like to pursue. And as I said, YouTube is only a channel for me to build out that project, but it's not everything. It's not the main source of income as I can see in the future. The dawn of van life said, I went through this too, and honestly I just went back to making videos for me for a while and not focusing on growth and the business. The only growth that you should focus on is your own growth. Not the growth of YouTube, but your own growth. Like I said, not to focus on the number of your subscribers, but rather focus on your own personal growth, because as you grow, everything else around you will grow as well. And Van Life Biker said, telling you up your vitamin D. At K2, okay. At K2 also to the D, which grade counts when food counts when you're born and not in your bloodstream. Calcification on the arteries is another story. Vitamin D is a hormone. You are in Canada, so I know you are not getting enough vitamin D from the sun, obviously. No, yeah, I know I don't get enough vitamin D. I should get out a lot more, but it's just really, really cold. Bruce Willis is funny. Yes, he used to be my favorite actor as well. Me, Bruce, same, but I'm not famous. Have you ever had natto loaded with K2? But I'm scared to try it. No, I never had natto. Tammy Stewart said, sometimes we just have to be. It's very essential to be, because if you don't be, that you don't know what you are doing. So And I think Tommy is right that before you do something, you need to know who you are. And to know who you are is actually a verb of be. So to be first before you do. One Tiger said you can be creative. For example, you can do Montreal walks, videos, parks, rivers, downtown. Yeah, there's so many things that I do want to do, want Tiger, but like I said, I needed to overcome the shadow, the fog that I have in my mind right now before I can actually feel being creative again. And I think this is the time for me to, because I believe that transformation isn't something that happens overnight. It is a process, and I think it is also critical to embrace the process itself and be patient. It's like a caterpillar would take several weeks to transform into a butterfly, right? It's not like it's transformed like instantly overnight. It has to stay in the cocoon for many weeks before it can fly. And I think that for every fear that you are facing, every challenge that you're facing, it is important to acknowledge where you are and having the awareness and questionings and all that, but it's also essential to accept that challenge and embrace the process and knowing that it is going to be okay. Because as I'm aware of it now, I have the power to choose what I want to be and who I want to be, who I want to emerge into. And it is now the matter of time for evolving and for transforming instead of rushing through the process, because it's like a baby when it's in a mother's womb. It takes 9 months, and what happened to the baby when it's being born premature, like its health is not as it is not as ideal as what it should be. And so I see the process of transformation is also the same, and it will take me some time to like immerse you into a new identity, but I'm not going to push myself or rush myself to it, but rather just let it grow naturally and continue to learn and build the positive habits is what I should be doing as I'm growing and emerging into a new person. And that's how I think that's how I can honor my process of growth. So I hopefully that answer your comment or your question. Okay, let me keep going here. When Life Biker said, I guess fermented foods are full of K2, you know your body best, but if it lacks nutrition, it could affect your daily journey. Your comment is so funny, When Life Biker. What, Tiger? I don't count on YouTube to be your source of income. Like I said, it's going to be a channel for me to I don't see it as a sole source of income. Yes, this is true, but it is a channel for me to share messaging, to share what I'm learning, so, and to help other people as well. And Krishna said, is an Italian. I am free of what others think of me. I love Italian personality. So outspoken and so free. And when Life Biker said, be yourself, don't worry of others. Yes, thank you, When Life Biker. Tommy Chua said, I can see how YouTube would bring pressure on many people who do it regularly have to stop themselves and just live for the moment instead of living for the next beat. Honestly, I don't like being on social media so much. If I could, I'd rather not to have social media and have my own private life. But this is the path I'm choosing. So instead of looking at it as a way of blocking myself, I just choose to change my perspective and how I can manage my time and embracing social media in a different way, in a positive way, instead of like consuming it. Then it's better for me to put out positivities out there instead of consuming the social media. It's a bad habit. Krishna said, we will miss you and wish you all the best. Thank you very much, Krishna. I'm not leaving, so you won't miss me. Walt Tiger said, you can do it part-time, just don't be so serious. Treat it as a hobby instead of a vocation. I choose not to see it as a hobby because I see it as a part of my business, but not as a hobby. Because if I choose to see it as a hobby, I won't take it as seriously as I should, or I would. Because as a hobby, it's like I just do it because I would just do it for free, and I'm afraid that it won't have the messages, the meaningful messages as it should be. And Thomas, hi Thomas, glad you are doing okay, and don't worry about YouTube, just be happy. Thank you, Thomas, for reaching out to me and always asking to see whether I'm okay and how I'm doing. So I really appreciate your concern. And Krishna said, I want to share a great motivational speaker with you. She's on YouTube, and check her out. Thank you, Krishna. And Van Life Biker said, lots of snow is called no sun, no vitamin D. Van Life Biker is very concerned about vitamin D. What Tiger said, I asked myself the same questions all the time, and the answer is life has no purpose, for me at least. And if you don't see it right now, just enjoy like whatever your heart is calling you at the moment, and not pushing yourself so much. I think being healthy, being happy is all there is for life. So we stay healthy, stay happy, get through this COVID thing, and we'll all be okay. I go do exercise. One Tiger is, if you don't see the purpose right now, you will see it at the time that you meant to see it. So it's not, just don't beat yourself up if you don't see the purpose at the moment. And touristic to Canada said you're going back to BC, not at the moment, not for the next couple of months. I'm not going back to BC yet. The Dawn of Van Life say, I say content creator sometimes because it makes me feel like I can care about just making what makes me happy more than being a YouTuber, having YouTube status. Yes. I don't call myself, I don't see myself as content creator either. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it yet, whether that is the identity that I would like to take on. Priscilla Claire asks, you just have to do you, and thanks for sharing your journey. Donna Van Life said, you are beautiful. So by the way, it radiates from you. Thank you, Dawn. And Krishna said, your stage performance show is in the professional quality of your videos. Thank you, Krishna. Okay, so I guess I looked through on the chat. Thank you so much for everyone who joining me today. Thank you so much for all your concern, and I hope that you understand what I'm going through and the challenge that I'm going through, and the reason why I'm saying that I don't want to be a YouTuber. So thank you so much for being here again, for sharing this life with me, and for sharing this challenge with me. I hope you're on the best, and I will catch you again in the next video. It's not the end of me yet. Okay, bye everyone.